Good evening and welcome to See Hope Podcast with Gary and John. I'm John.
That's us, and I'm Gary. So welcome to the podcast.
We also go by John and Gary Live, or used to. That's a dead name now.
Used to.
And tonight we're going to be talking about the brand change. We're going to talk about what we've been doing in the off season and what the future holds for this podcast.
Yeah, so straight into it, the brand change. John, why have we changed to See Hope Podcast?
Well, there's a lot of soul searching in the off season.
There's a lot of soul searching.
So to begin with, life got a bit hectic leading up to Christmas. I had a baby a week before Christmas, and they occupy a lot of time. And then when we met up a few times after my daughter was born, and discussed where the podcast was and where we actually wanted it to be, and where it was intentionally, like at the start, what we intended it to be.
Yeah, so I mean, let's go back through what we actually intended it to be. From our own trailer into our kind of John and Gary Live, we said we wanted to discuss topical news, current events, and have cultural discussions about religion, community, and family. And we talked about who we are and that we want to build a community and challenge people in their understanding in the pursuit of a better future. Because we found that our kind of world was under attack, so our freedoms were under attack, and we actually wanted to jump into this and see if we could make a difference. Now that has, that's still true, but we found that the news is largely negative, and there's a lot of people talking about the news anyway. So we wanted to find something that would bring hope, hence the name, See Hope.
Yeah. And for me, I hadn't watched the news. It's pretty much post-COVID, because not very trustworthy to begin with, but very negative, nothing positive. And I guess when I got back into watching the news and talking about the news, it was just negative, and I guess I was a part of that.
Yeah, we were a part of that. For me, I found myself getting rather frustrated, and that, we're always pushing an uphill battle, and there's nothing wrong with that. But we felt like it wasn't actually hitting the mark, and I think for both of us, there was a few episodes there that we felt is where we wanted to be.
Yeah, the standouts were probably the Father's Day one with both our fathers, and Laura. Definitely Laura stands out, and Scott.
Yeah, so the Father's Day one, so if you want to go back and watch it, it is, I'm pretty sure it's called Father's Day Special. The one with Laura was about her story through going through her brother's suicide, and that one's all about mental health. That was a really powerful episode, and the amount of growing and seeing Laura come out the other side and how she's grown from it was something that I think we can all learn from. And so that's where we loved. We also jumped over to Scott, who decided on Australia Day, he put up a controversial post and ended up very much working out for him, but it kind of put him in the spotlight of the news largely. So he actually found himself in the news cycle, as it were, and he's just a local guy just trying to make a difference in his community.
Yeah, and really, the thing is, the commonplace with all these overcoming challenges and finding that hope, I guess, is with the brand change. Also, with us not working together, it's complicated things somewhat. So we might not be as live.
That's right. Yeah,
we'll be alive, but not live.
That's right. So we were originally doing live episodes every Monday night. We have kind of foregone that and decided to do pre-recording episodes. And we will try to do some live episodes because we love the actual engagement with the audience, and seeing that engagement also brought us joy and saw that people were there with us. And we don't want to lose that. So there will be times where we will announce it, and that we will do live episodes again. And, if everything kind of calms down for us and this kind of takes off, we'd probably do it more.
And our episodes will be largely unedited anyway.
Yeah,
So,
we like to just kind of let it roll, and I'd rather not do more work after after the episode anyway.
yeah.
So another reason why we've gone into this Sea Hope podcast and gone away from our previous name being John and Gary Live is a guy I look up to a lot, and I love his podcast. Guy called Tim Pool. He's got a podcast called Timcast IRL, and he has guests on. They talk about the news and whatnot. And he came on one day and was just defeated, and it got me thinking a lot. He was like, "This is the last one. I'm not doing this anymore. I'm just going to stick to my other channels and just kind of go with them." Because he's a very successful man. Go check him out if you haven't. Um, and he got to the point. He got to the next day, and he came back on, and everything kind of became clear. He announced that he's pregnant. Well, his now wife is pregnant, and that was I guess a big change for him. And there was a few things going on behind the scenes that was really interrupting the actual flow of the podcast itself. So the actual running of the podcast. And, the community got around him, and I thought that was really awesome. For one thing I thought of is like, man, like there's big changes coming in our lives, and particularly John, he's just had his baby. I've actually got, surprise, surprise, I've got a baby coming in August as well. So look out for that. And so I actually wanted to future-proof the channel a little bit. And we actually wanted it not to just be about me and John, or John and I's our opinions, and we actually wanted to branch out and let other people come on and kind of help us host if one of us is unable to be there. And so that's kind of what I had envisioned as a future proofing as well. And if you haven't noticed, we've kind of changed up the format, and I think this has got some new equipment. So this is we're really excited for this for this time. And so, John, do you want to go through why the hiatus, or?
Yeah, so pretty well. It's the babies take up a lot of time, and we had Christmas and just recovery for my wife. There wasn't a lot of actual free time to. We tried to sync up a couple of days, but it just never worked out for.
Yeah, and there was a lot of work going on for us as well, especially particularly for me. Me and the crew kind of had to pick up the slack while John was off on his is it paternity leave?
Yeah, paternity.
So, yeah, so things just get a little bit harder at work when John's not around. He's kind of the glue that holds us together and keeps us going. So no offense to our boss, but it was definitely
substitute.
There's no substitute for John. So yeah, so we worked hard as a crew, and we had some really long days, and that's another reason why we've gone to this format as well, just in case Mondays end up being big days. And I've actually got a new job as well.
Yeah,
and that's moved me in a different direction, and my hours are completely different to John's, and we don't have our daily discussions, which might actually end up giving us a little bit more, I guess, discussion now in the actual episodes when we're actually bringing up some things for the first time instead of reiterating them.
Yeah. Bit more raw, perhaps.
Bit more raw.
Yeah, and I think by the time we sort of leveled out with being busy, halfway through January, we were discussing heavily about the brand change, and we weren't quite set on where we were coming back and what we're coming back as. And
yeah, it took us a while to settle on the name.
And so that took a bit more time than we would have liked, but
yeah,
we're happy with the result.
And we had a chat to some people who have watched a few episodes, and they told us to kind of upgrade our backgrounds a little bit, and instead of just the kind of junky mess we've got going on, so that you can see that there's been a bit of a change, and there will be more change coming on.
Definitely.
And so we're really excited to see this space transform and what it turns into.
Yeah. And we're we're in discussions with a lot more people, trying to get people on, and hear more stories, and again find that common ground that we're all going through life together, And
Yeah, and there's a lot of people out there who would love to come on and tell their story, but they thought, oh, kind of a political talk show, it might bring the wrong attention to me and I guess my job and whatnot. And so we found that I think this kind of format is going to allow people to come on a lot more and actually give them the kind of a bit more protection from that kind of political side of things.
yeah. And I think with that, we've touched on a few episodes, both of our stories and how we end up in this place talking to random strangers. I
Yeah,
guess.
where we've gotten into this spot where we wanted to bring our stories to life.
Yeah.
And I think that's where, like, especially as we reiterate the episodes that we're actually talking to people that we really enjoyed, and that actual content was not just content that would you know generate clicks. So it was content that was real, that was raw, that was something of substance, and we like that. We want to be able to see people comment that their circumstances have changed because of
Not circumcisions.
not circumstances
Yeah.
have changed maybe because of what they've heard or listened to someone's testimony or story, and found that there is always hope in this world, that there is light at the end of the tunnel, and we can all get through this. We can get through it together. And that's another thing. We want to build a community around this. We don't want to just be us two. We want to build community. We want to build a culture of people bringing hope and building each other up and actually seeing where this can take us. Because I think hope is one of the most powerful words in the world. And if you have hope, it'll you can change the world.
Yeah, and also there's no pure despair when you have hope. And that's again, the news cycle sort of feeds into that despair, and we're trying to
move away from it. Yeah, the hope breaks despair, and that's what we want to see. And so that's where we've come to, and that's why you see this. So welcome to the See Hope podcast, and we're super excited to see where this goes.
And we have a few of the old merch, which I'm sure we will do some giveaways.
Yeah, 100%
throughout.
We'll have some fun with it.
Yeah.
We got some, and we hope to get some new merchandise that we'll give out to our guests as well. So if anyone does want to come on and tell their story, if some people have even a big story of hope or a small story of hope, we'd love to hear it all. And we're even going to be searching for, I guess, stories that we can discuss of awesome things people are doing in the world that we might hear and see in the news cycle, but doesn't get highlighted as much as instead of like the Albos or the Donald Trumps of the world, the things that are always in the news cycle. We want to see actual, tangible, hopeful stuff.
Yeah. I know we're steering away from news, but with the hope in mind, do you hear JD Vance's speech to the Security Council?
I have not.
It was pretty good. It's just talking about how we need to hold on to, if we're going to be defending something, the something that we're defending has to mean, be defined and mean something. So if you lose the meaning of that, what are you defending?
Yeah.
So he's talking about democracy. He's talking about statehood. If you're living in Australia and it's no longer Australia, what are you actually defending?
Yeah.
Yeah. And just brought it to them that, hold on to, be true to yourself and hold on to your heritage.
Yeah.
And defend that, which I found
inspiring.
Pretty inspiring, but just like that there's hope. He listed a few terrible examples of freedom of speech or freedom of religion, freedom of expression that's been dissolved, like as far as Christians are concerned in different areas, and then made me feel really fortunate. Like I've been negative on this for some time now, but we've got it pretty good at the moment. But it is a forewarning for if you let it slide, it can slide pretty bad.
Yeah, and I guess that's where it brings to how we ended up in our original cycle is that we like, oh yeah, let's do something else this week, and we just kept sliding back into the same. So it will be a challenge for us as well as your hosts of Sea Hope the Sea Hope podcast, and we'll be trying our best to find those stories, find those people who want to tell their stories, and bring hope. So we want to illuminate hope in this world. And we are both Christians. We're not hiding that, and we probably will have people of the Christian faith talk about their hope in Christ, but it doesn't mean we're against hearing other people's stories of hope. So all is welcome. If you have something you want to talk about in the comment section and you want us to read it out, happy to read it out as well.
Yeah, definitely. Which we did a fair bit.
Yeah, we loved bringing up especially the comments from the previous weeks, and had a discussion about them and addressed them. We loved talking to our community, and sorry over the hiatus. We've kind of been dark on the channel, but it's about to change. We're in this. We're spending the money. We're ready to go. We've got the vision, and let's get to it. Hey.
Yeah. So with the first few episodes in this new podcast, we just want to put out our stories to start off with, perhaps.
Yeah, definitely.
And then I'm happy to tell the birth story of my daughter.
Yeah, the roller coaster.
Yeah, it definitely gives a new breed of love, I think, to your partner when you see them go through that.
Yeah, I bet.
It's pretty hectic. And also she was a breech baby, so and delivered naturally. So 2% of pregnancies end in a breech, and 2% of those breaches come naturally. 98% cesarean.
2% of 2%.
Yeah, so very rare, and a bit of a ride.
I bet. You have told me some about some of the story, but I'm keen to hear it again, and for you to tell it to our audience. And I'm sure there's other people out there who have gone through it, who might be going through it now.
Get ready.
Hopefully, we're not breached like you guys were, but we're coming up on where was it? I can tell you when. I think we're up to 15 weeks. No, that's not right. Is it? Yeah, 15 weeks. We're up to 15 weeks, and we're hoping to find out in another 5 weeks what sex our baby is as well. So excited! I'm ecstatic. I'm super excited to be a dad and to see where fatherhood takes me. It makes me super keen and ready to kind of work for my family and work for my child. So at this new job, nothing's going to stop me, and I'm ready to go at it with
locked and loaded.
That's it, locked and loaded, ready to go.
Also, we're working behind the scenes trying to get other people on. There's a couple of people that want to talk about gambling that we just had to tee up.
We've got a few people who want to talk about their story about how they're getting out of that, and how it's been a struggle. You know, life is a struggle, and we all go through life and have different struggles. And so we're going to try get as many different people on to talk about their stories, because there's only so many experiences John and I can have. And we've done a fair share. We've done pretty good, but there's definitely a lot of people, like the episode with Jack and his amazing life. There were 2 pre-recorded episodes with a 101-year-old. And he's 102 this year, and he's still going, he's still kicking, and we want to try get him on as well. We might actually have to go visit him down in Sydney, because we're Central Coast based, and make another episode out of that, because his wisdom, his story is just inspiring, and I think that gives us some hope as well. And we don't always have to look to the future to find hope. There's hope in the past as well.
Yeah. Also, just with with getting people on that have different experiences. I found with my crisis that it seemed to be a bit easier knowing that someone else had went through that and come out the other side, because you sort of feel isolated and that you're the only one going through it. But it's just like there's how many billion people in the world?
There's a lot of people in the world. 7 billion.
There's not too much originality
Originality.
going on here, but no, but you definitely feel like it is. It's like it's your problem. No one else has been through it.
That's right. And like we all know that we know that every individual situation isn't the same, but if you can glean some hope or some knowledge or some wisdom from those who have gone through it before you, I think that'll be invaluable for us all. I wouldn't be the man I am today without going through the suffering I've been through. It sucks to go through it, but it's shaped me into an amazing person, and I think that's the hope.
Average.
My wife would say differently.
Below average. Okay.
But it's shaped me to who I am today, and I think that's a great thing. Like, it may feel like things are dark now. It may feel like the world is getting you down. It may feel like that there is no hope, but there is. There's light at the end of the tunnel. You will get through this, and we wanna be there for you. We want to be there to talk about your stories and the stories around us. So that's our vision for this podcast.
Yeah. And please, if you want to come on the podcasts,
we'll try to facilitate things as best as possible.
Comment. We're talking about maybe doing Discord. Opening up avenues for people to discuss
and make it even form community around this.
Yeah.
Both of us, not as much anymore, but we both used to enjoy community over video games or things. John loves playing sport. I
don't love sports. I like competition.
You like competition.
So anything that's competitive, I'm happy.
Except for squash. He's scared of squash because he knows you'll be bad at it. He doesn't want to get on the squash court. I've been challenging him for weeks now.
Yeah, I don't think it's a racket. See, I'm practicing the dad jokes already.
He's pretty good at them. Yeah. Gotta say, he's pretty good at them. No, it's awesome. It's awesome being back on. I've enjoyed the actual discussion that we're having. That's this new avenue we're going down. Man, I'm so keen.
Yeah, I'm very happy though that we had that long break, because I don't think the redirection happens without the break.
Yeah, sometimes you need to stop and reflect on yourself and where you're going, and that's something we want to do is be self-reflective on and be critical of ourselves and the world around us, and I think that also allows you to build wisdom, and I think through this we have I hope built a pretty robust and future-proofed channel that is going to help change lives. Even if this helps like one or two people, like, it's worth it.
Definitely.
I think even that one person, if it helps change one person's lives, I think we are doing our job.
Speaking of reflection, I think having children makes you reflect a lot. So I'm excited to see what happens to the channel when
I have a child.
Have your baby.
It'll be like, I'm this and now I'm this. I'm like, oh no, I'll keep my eyes open. No, I don't think it'll be like that.
That's what mothers are for.
Yeah, and mothers are amazing. I don't know how they do it all.
Yeah.
And I'm sure as Mother's Day approaches, we might try get the mothers in our lives to come on and tell the stories tell their story.
That's May, yeah.
May, yeah.
First weekend
of May.
Yeah. I reckon
that'll be a fun episode.
Lock it in, Eddie.
Do you think your mum would come on?
Yeah, definitely. She likes to talk. I think eventually, with a bit of convincing, we could get my mum on. But yeah, so watch this space. Be keen to help spread the word. So, like, share the show with your friends, subscribe,
and leave us some comments because we're keen to hear from you, our audience, and build this community.
Yeah, definitely. What he said times 2.
All right, we might leave it there then, and we'll be back next week with. I think we'll start off with John's baby story. What do you think?
Yeah, that sounds good. That's
Sounds
a
good.
3-day story. So
3-day, as in
yeah.
the thing that happened was
Labor.
3 days. Labor
Labor
was
3 days.
right. Labor was 3
Yeah.
days. It's not the story's not going to take 3 days. Don't worry, people.
Well, I can if you want it to.
Every minute
Yeah.
detail. All right, guys, it's been great. Make sure you hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, share the show with all your friends and family, and let's see what hope we can bring to the world.
Catch you next time.
See ya.